Taehyung, she's gone. My mom spoke, making me look at her with a frown. Mom, what are you saying? Who's gone? And why are you here? Can't you see Y or N is sleeping? I scoff and walk towards my wife to cover her with the duvet. The weather is chill, she must be feeling cold. I was about to cover her with the duvet when my mom said something, making my grip tighten in anger. Mom, Taehyung, she's not sleeping, she's dead. I turned my head towards Mom and said angrily, Mom, the joke was ridiculous. I won't tolerate it next time. Saying that, I fixed YN's pillow. Suddenly I noticed some blood stains on her pillow. I looked at her face and saw dried blood under her nose and corner of her mouth. Taehyung, what's this? I asked, touching the corner of her lips. Lisa, YN's lips and nose were bleeding. She was getting ready for the date. You planned for her and this happened, she said, crying hardly. Taehyung, why? Lisa, because she had brain tumor. I felt the ground move from beneath my feet. Now that makes sense. Y or N got paler day by day, and the medicines she took wasn't vitamin, but that doesn't mean my Y or N is gone. She can't leave me like this. I started caressing her cheeks slowly. Taehyung, you all can go now. My wife needs rest. And Dad, please find the best neurologist for my wife. If anything your daughter is saying is true, I said while wiping the blood under YN's nose with wet tissue. The three of them were looking at me as if they saw a ghost. My dad walked towards me and held my shoulder. Dad, Taehyung, control yourself. She's dead, you need to accept the truth, he said in a soft tone. I quickly looked at him with my red eyes. Taehyung, she made breakfast for me in the morning. As she agreed to go on a date with me, she told me to take care before I left in this morning. My wife was totally fine. So how can you told me to believe that nonsense? Huh? Can't you see she's just sleeping? Lisa, stop it. Taehyung, she's dead. Taehyung, no she's not.
Now his tears started falling, which he was holding for too long, but still his heart couldn't accept the fact that they're saying. He started crying loudly like a baby, messing his ears. In a blink, Tae become a total mess. Taehyung, Dad, I can't leave without her. Please say she's fine. And Mom, she'll wake up, right? They didn't give him any reply. They were just staring at him with pitiful gaze. Getting no reply from his parents, Taehyung hugged YN's pale figure. Taehyung, hey, wake up. Look, they are talking no nonsense. Taehyung placed his head on her chest and then he heard it. Her slow heartbeat. Taehyung broke the hug and looked at YN's face with a smile. Taehyung, see, your heart is still beating for me and they are saying you're gone. His dad frowned at his words. He walked towards Y or N and held her wrist to check her pulse. He widened his eyes when he felt her pulse. Dad, she's alive. Everyone becomes shocked except for Taehyung. Mom, Taehyung, she's alive, we need to take her to the hospital now. His mom shook his shoulder to bring his right mind. Taehyung peeked YN's forehead and whispered, Taehyung, you'll be fine, my love. Saying that, he carried her in his arms and ran outside. It's been 2 hours since the doctors took Y or N inside. Taehyung was sitting on the floor beside YN's room, silently hearing his family members' conversation. Mom, Alyssa, Kim, we need explanation. Why you hide such big thing from us? Lisa, because Y or N forbid me. We got to know about YN's disease few months ago, but she doesn't wanted anyone to treat her as a ill person. So she told me to not to tell anyone. Mom, you're not a kid, Lisa. You know we might have cured Y or N by giving her best treatment if we know that earlier. Lisa, I know, Mom. I'm sorry. Dad. And what about today, young lady? You told us that Y or N is gone without even checking her. How can you be so careless? Lisa, I'm really sorry. I got afraid and thought. She started crying loudly. The doctor come out and Taehyung stand up with his trembling legs. Doctor, the patient survived for now, but I can tell how long she can make it. Y or N was laying on the hospital bed with closed eyes. Taehyung was sitting beside her, caressing her hair. He doesn't utter a single word till now. His dad placed his hand on his shoulder and spoke. Dad, don't worry, Taehyung will take her to the best neurologist tomorrow. Taehyung didn't respond. His family decided to leave the room, leaving the mates alone. After an hour, Y or N slowly opened her eyes. Her head was aching. She tried to move but failed because of so many wires connected with her. You almost take my life out, she heard a very familiar, manly voice from beside her. She looked at the side and saw her husband was staring at her with his red eyes. Suddenly he hugged her tightly and started sobbing on her neck. YRN was so much shocked that she even forget to react. She was just laying there like a statue, but soon some shiny pearls started falling from the corner of her eyes. Taehyung and YRN was sitting in front of the doctor nervously. The doctor was checking her reports. Dr. Park, sorry to say but her reports are not good, we need to do a surgery in a week. Taehyung, as she'll be fine after the surgery, right? Dr. Park, we can't promise you that. There's only 30% chance of her survival. The decision is yours if you want to do the surgery or not. Y or N look at Taehyung. He's looking so lost. His face became pale as if he lose his half weight in one day. YRN heard from her mother-in-law that Taehyung doesn't have his dinner last night. Even in this morning, YRN notice he doesn't have his breakfast properly. Does her illness affected him this much? Does he care she die or not? Suddenly she got the urge live again. Now she doesn't wanted to leave him so soon. Now she wants to live more. So she spoke. YRN, I will do the surgery, she said, making Taehyung and the doctor look at her. She knows she'll definitely die if she doesn't do the surgery, but there is 30% chance of her survival if she does. Dr. Park, good then. I'll tell the nurse to prepare a bed for you. We need to admit you now. Hearing that, YRN hold Taehyung's hand from under the table. Taehyung, look at her and saw she's already staring at him with puppy eyes. She shake her head, signing her husband that she doesn't want to stay here. Taehyung sign and look at the doctor. Taehyung, can I take her home? My wife doesn't want to stay here. Dr. Park, okay then bring her here after 3 days for checkup. Taehyung, sure doctor. Saying that he stand up from his sit and help Y or N.